My life be like, yeah. My life be like, yeah.
Hey guys, this is HOPEsaidit back with another HOPEsaidit episode. This week we're talking about growing up poor. If you read this week's blog post, that's what I wrote about, growing up poor, and I brought someone who grew up with me, my sister. We are just going to talk about kind of the pros and cons and what the difference is when you grow up poor and kind of your mentality change there. So to provide a little background for you guys, if you are new to HOPEsaidit, where have you been? But we're Nigerian. My parents came straight from Nigeria. My dad came with, what's the typical story where it's $20 in your pocket and worked for $2 an hour. And, grew up in Section 8 housing. We didn't really know that until we were adults, but we grew up in Section 8 housing. Apparently, probably got food stamps or something. I don't know. What's so crazy about it is that we really didn't know we were broke until you grow up, So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. The things you don't know, the things you realize from growing up poor. So Grace, what was your experience?
No, I was thinking of a funny moment growing up, like how our neighbors would knock on our door and ask for stuff. Do you have some eggs? Do you have some ketchup? And then I think the funniest was they kept coming one day, one afternoon, they kept coming back. And by the time they were done, they were about to bake a whole cake.
And that's what I told her.
Eggs. It was flour. What else?
My grandma asked me to ask you, your mama, if y'all have eggs.
Egg
got
sugar.
Flour. You got sugar. I said, I'm not say the name. Do you need the frosting too?
It's so funny. It was just insane. And of course, we always gave it to them.
Yes.
We were all broke.
We were broke.
We were broke too.
Okay. We know you housing about 5-6 kids in your house, but we broke too. And they just, you got eggs, this and that.
Cup of milk.
Yes. Like, what are you going to do with a cup of milk?
Ketchup was the craziest one. I was like, you couldn't go without ketchup.
Like, what you making, meatloaf? What you putting fries?
If you don't have it, you don't make it. But that's how it was.
Yeah.
It was like, well, we still want to make this.
Yeah, so ask downstairs. Ask the downstairs.
That was the funniest thing.
And you know what? When you're growing up, I think a lot of people if you grow up in the hood, you're the one who knows that you have a candy lady. And nobody else have a candy lady but your poor self. We didn't even think of anything. I didn't even know anybody else had a candy lady. I was like, y'all had a candy lady too? But some people's candy ladies, you charge them. Ours just gave it for free.
It started off with like a lollipop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we got a lollipop.
It's like grooming.
And then
what?
That was a nice lady.
Yeah,
and then it turned into little baggies.
Yeah. At
paper
the bus
bags.
stop. Yeah.
And then we had to go to her house.
Yeah.
To get the knock, where's our bag? And then I guess one day it just stopped.
Well, you can't just do that to kids where it's like every Friday we knew we were going to get a lunch bag full of candy.
You could have weaned us off, went back to the one,
yeah, no.
and then been like, oh,
it was
no
literally
more candy.
One day we just went to her house as a sign up, no candy today, and we're like, okay, today, we'll be back next week. And then they just stopped answering. I was like, no, ma'am. Yeah. You want to be candy lady or not? Yeah. So, yeah, that's
a good run.
It was a good run. It lasted for a couple months. Ice cream man, but everybody,
They would go to the different stops because there were certain days when the ice cream man would have to get rid of his supply.
Yeah,
so it was
he gave
for free.
Out free ice cream.
And so on those days, they got the most exercise ever. And they would go to each stop. Sometimes they were going to different neighborhoods across the field.
No, me and my brother are like so like-minded. We were like, listen, Omar's gonna be here and then here and here. He saw me, I think one time like 4 times, and he said, "You're back," and he just gave it to me because he was like, E for effort. So you keep on following me, and I was like, "See you at the next stop." Go. So we'd run and do that. But that's just growing up. You don't realize that you're broke. You just know that you don't have, and it's not even not having much because you're living in Section 8. Everybody has nothing, But when you go to school, that's when it's like, hold up, y'all have this? Y'all can afford Lisa Frank? Oh,
I know school supplies, even the little things like Lisa Frank Trapper Keepers, the zipper binders.
Oh my God,
no, we didn't get.
We had like Rose Art, no Crayola. I think we did have Elmer's, maybe. Elmer's?
I don't think that was...
No, that's not that expensive, right?
Because that's elementary. You wouldn't need that for long.
Stuff. Yeah. But like 5-star, what in the world? Nope.
Remember the paste?
Oh, that's the worst ever. It's like...
I liked it.
I like paste, though. I thought it was a rich person status because I didn't know poor people would paste. Right? You just have the little regular glue and you put it in your hand and then peel it off. That's what we do.
Okay. Oh, and that's the little thing. It was just, you didn't really think about it. That's simple. Right. When you're at school, that's when it's like, oh.
When at school, that's when you have different neighborhoods combined and you're like, oh, okay, that's what you can afford. That's what you have. Those are the clothes you're wearing. That's a real dinger of growing up poor. The clothes you wear, you know.
But even in the neighborhood, people had...
You know what? And that's because of child support. Let me explain. This is the one thing.
And shady dealings. We didn't know at the time, but... Some people
that's not their business. The statute of limitations is not up for that. So, child support, definitely. That's something I realized when I was like 8 or something like that in third grade.
I don't know what you're talking about. I knew nothing about
I stayed mismatching. Okay, my mom did her best, but I stayed with stripes and polka dots on, sewn up stuff. Child, I stonewashed jeans.
At some point, Hope started dressing herself and chose the things she wore.
Because that's all I knew. That's all you know. Okay. Was it Stockholm Syndrome? That's what I had with clothes. So we went ahead and I went out one day when we were I was done getting ready for school. I was going to the bus stop and I saw this one girl come out dressed to the nines. And I was like, oh, that's a nice outfit, And it was new. And so I was just like, hey, is it your birthday? What's going on? She said, oh, no, my daddy got it for me. She was like, yeah, he gives my mom money every month. I was like, whoa, wow. And for some reason, when I was 8, I was like, that is the ticket. I really thought I was really gonna get my family out of poverty because I found out this snippet of dads are supposed to give you money every month. So I was like, money every month? What are you talking about? And she's like, oh, you don't have money? And we're going, and she's like, oh, does your dad live with you? I was like, yeah, but get to the money. And she said, oh, you know what? I think that's why, I don't think he can live with you. And I was like, he can't live with me. Oh, there's a way around that. And so I go home and I'm talking to my mom like, Mom, does dad give you money every month? And she's looking like, mind your business, first of all. But then she was like, what are you talking about? There's something, I don't know, you're supposed to just give people money every month. And then she got mad and she was kind of like, whatever, wait till dad comes home. So I wait till he comes home. I went to him and I said, hey, Dad, do you give mom money every month? And she was like, what? Why would I have to give you money? We have money. And I was like, we have money. And so I'm thinking like, dude, I'm raking it in. We have 4 of us. There's going to be money for clothes, guys. You worry. So he was like, no, that's not how it works. And we were going back and forth. But he ended up laughing. He was like, oh, you mean child support? I was like, yeah, so pay up so you know what it is.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, no, that is when you don't live there anymore. I was like, okay, so you need to move elsewhere. No, you can stay married, but we got to get this money situation handled, But then I was thinking, later I was like, well, even if it's his money, he has nothing. So what is he giving us? I guess I was just thinking money came from the sky and we weren't pulling it down. I don't know. But either way, that's what I really missed. And so I remember growing up being like, not knowing the value of a 2-parent home and just being like, well, would it be that bad? Because we're getting a check every month. And so it wasn't until I married my now husband that I was like, hey, you would know. Would you care if you came from a 2-parent home or if you had child support? And he was like, is that even a question? Are you serious right now? A 2-parent home, hands down. And I was like, really? What if you got new Jordans every month?
But I mean, we were definitely ready to earn our own money when the time came.
Oh, for sure.
And Hope was just a super saver. She was just really good at it. I would earn my money to buy things. And
I would earn my money to buy future things. Like, it took me about 10 years to buy my good car. Like, I had a crap car. And that took, maybe 2 or 3 years to buy real quick. Like, I worked at Chuck E. Cheese's. No, actually, I worked, since I was 14, just saving all that money, and then worked at Chuck E. Cheese's for a good year or something, and then I had like my jalopy, but it was gold to me.
Everyone borrowed money from Hope. She just always had a stash.
So that's what I learned. I think growing up poor, I was just like, I gotta say, there's this something, and I think Jennifer Lopez or something like that said, as rich as she is, I know, right? The wise words of J-Lo. She said, that's one thing she's scared of, to be broke. Now this girl got millions, and she was like, that's something I really just think of, like being broke, and I can't get to that. And so I think that's kind of my mentality, where I'm like, obviously I'm not J-Lo status, but just thinking, you gotta have a certain amount, because you can't just go back to dirt,
See, I don't have the mentality because I have 3 siblings, so they're not gonna leave me high and dry.
That's just the difference between us.
Yeah, I'm a giver.
She's a huge giver.
Who needs money for what cause?
And I'm like this. She gets
And Hope's like, Hope, you got to go through like 25 questions before Hope will consider giving me money. It's like, oh my goodness.
But that's my discernment. Growing up poor, I think one thing that is just not being able to afford things, so you don't even ask for things, at least for me. I think I asked, can I get the Doritos, can I get Cheetos, and it's like, no, we can't afford it, no, we can't afford it. So then that's when I realized we don't have money to spend. So I'm just gonna shut up. Any field trip that came home, I would not even, and they could have had the money. Sometimes my dad would be like, oh, I could have did that, and I'm like, no, it's okay. Because now I'm feeling like I'm taking from the pot. So I'm like, no, it's all good, it's just a zoo.
Interesting. I was the complete opposite. I wanted to go to the zoo, so I would ask for field trip money. So it's educational.
Oh gosh, what a dork.
It's not like it's not like it was hundreds of dollars.
How do you know? All I know is it's $25. If you can't spend $1 on Cheetos, I know you cannot spend.
Cheetos would be gone in seconds. A field trip was a whole school day. You can't compare the two.
We're talking about money spent. Is what we're talking about.
We're talking about the quality of money.
We're not talking about the quality. Why would you talk about the quality of money? How as a kid, the quality of money? No, I'm just talking about the dollar amount.
We just asked for different things. I'm not asking for chips and stuff. I'm asking for the field trip.
I just didn't ask for field trips. We had field trips to the zoo, to the farm. We had good field trips looking back at it, but I didn't ask. And it's so funny because it got to the point where my teachers would literally be like, well, just tell them to sign the form. We will pay for it. And I'm like,
she actually even got to go to the White House. We didn't get to do that.
Oh yeah, we went all over Washington, before 9/11. So you just going all up wherever, it's not one of those one line only, in and out. You're going, in the White House for real. Lincoln Monument and all that other stuff.
Birthdays, they started, growing up, you get the friends coming over, neighbors. 'Cause we all live in the same neighborhood, neighbors come over. Mom would make the cake.
It was real homey, real games, home video.
Singing, playing, there it goes. And then when we got older, it was more like family, which is fine.
That's cool.
Whatever, get it.
That's cool.
Family, and then it got to, you get a card and you get $20. And it was
always
cool.
A card and by the time we were, 8, 9 or something like that, card, $20. Card, $20. And then it just started being a card. And I'm like, hold up. Because you're used to just shake, thanks, Mom, And then you're like, we don't have you to, I'm like, oh. Thank you. Happy birthday to me, And then we started getting our jobs and stuff. And they, for real, were like, child, y'all got y'all money. Happy birthday, So now we just look forward to her being like, happy birthday.
Always
She'll
dance.
call us.
Always call.
She'll
always
just
dance.
call, and we just know that if we're in front of her, she's going to dance. If we're not there, she's going to sing on the phone. That's our birthday. Holiday expectations were the same thing. Christmas, we didn't ask. We didn't have a Santa list because we knew Santa wasn't real, first of all. But even that, a Christmas list, we didn't ask
But then
much.
family, friends would.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of help with family, friends, church members. But we're socks. We're cool. We get socks a lot.
No one sees socks.
No, right? What you get? Like what? No. Either way, but yeah, when it's time for what did you get for Christmas, it was just some clothes and socks, and sometimes you have to make it up.
Oh yeah,
you know, and just be like, oh no, I got money, whatever. You're not expecting to see that, so I got money.
It, whatever.
Exactly.
Or say something that it's at home.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So what's the greediest thing you asked for though? Because
I'll do the greediest thing you asked for.
Hello, we're talking about you.
Yeah, I can do me too.
Okay,
but let's start with Hope.
Okay, that's weird.
Hope, who has no art background, was watching Bob Ross and got enlightened and then wanted to buy art supplies. We're not talking about going to Walmart and buying the cheap bulk. She went to Michael's, which is not which is not close to our house. Dad had to drive far?
It was like a 40 minutes.
40-minute drive to Michael's.
40.
She's getting like
30.
Separate art supply. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need this brush. It's like, for what?
Okay, first of all, let me bust your bubble. Because I bought that. That was my dollars that I saved that we talked about earlier. So really, he just paid for the time to take me there. He was harnessing my creativity, and he knew I had talent. So
what about the keyboard?
Okay, for the keyboard, I paid for half the keyboard. My uncle paid for the second half. So everything I earned, I feel like he knows. That was $75. I put up $75. He put the other $75, and I got the keyboard. So there's nothing where it was just gimme. But let's talk about Grace playing the flute for 2 seconds.
I knew she was gonna say that. Wait a minute.
No, she wasn't talking about me. No. Wait a minute. Because I'm talking about putting up or shutting up, and she's talking about.
Oh no!
And she's talking about. Listen, we went over someone's house. One of my, family friend, went over their house. The daughter was playing Little Drummer Boy. I don't know why I know this like goes. Yes, you don't even know Little Drummer Boy.
Okay, we know the song. Moving on.
That's what she. And for some reason, it wasn't even tight. I was like, wow, that's whack, And Grace was like, I want to play the flute. And I was like, did we hear the same thing? Oh, gosh.
I should have picked violin.
Oh, that's what she took from it. Okay. But she said, I want to play the flute. Mind you, we're broke. This is not even we have enough money to do our own thing. We're like 6th grade,
Didn't ask enough questions.
So then we're trying to get a flute. Obviously, we're broke. I'm shocked that my parents did this, but I think we went to the pawn shop and then they actually tried to foster this music in this non-musical child. And
because my older brother did well with trombone. So
he did well with trombone. Trombone was a lended instrument.
I didn't know that. Again, didn't ask enough questions.
So we get like a pawn shop flute, kind of beat up. I don't even know how much it was. Obviously, they're not going to tell us, but it's expensive. So she plays it.
No, that's the one. Actually, we got 2. That other one didn't work well, so we had to get a different one.
Okay. 2 flutes for this one. Who was in band
for no. To it,
who was in band for like 30 seconds.
Not true.
We went to her concert.
I went to her concert. Through on the
She
concert.
went to her concert, and when I tell you she was just fingering and not even playing. Subsequently, I learned
that reading music is difficult. It doesn't come easy. I don't understand it. So.
After 2 flutes. So when it was my turn to be in band, they did not have that same, let me foster your music. They said flute or shut up. And I was like, I was thinking saxophone, but
she wouldn't have. I think flute.
I would have killed it. I would have killed it as saxophone.
Fine,
don't I look like a saxophonist?
Okay, but she wasn't going to be a saxophonist in life.
I would have did that in high school rather than flute.
You weren't going to do it because then it would require marching band, and you would have rather done. Thank you.
Too hot.
Flute it is.
No, it's too hot for all that. But either way, I was first chair flute. I was in jazz band. I was in honor band.
Blessing in the end.
But either way,
solos.
Absolutely, I had solos, and I actually played during the concert, not just fingering stuff. So that was her greediest request. I have yet to have one.
It's because she got much. She had 3 older siblings who provided things for her. Her older brothers would give her things because she's the youngest. So she had things. And then, like, if I had, because we grew up together, she's 3 years younger. If I had extra money, I would give it to her. Because I'm a giver. I mean, we always looked out for each other.
I think it got better. Like, I'm talking more elementary school. Yes, when they were middle high school, oh yeah, it was easy breezier for me because, you know, they had some money to give. We could, you know, I remember one time, I don't know if Grace had money. She started babysitting or something. She was babysitting, yeah. And we went to, I was going to say TS. That's what we called the thrift store. Like, we're going to TS. Because the thrift store was not hot back then. Everybody's like, oh, this is vintage, whatever. We did vintage back then and got made fun of. So, yeah, she would get some money and say, okay, we're getting, you know, going to TS and getting some clothes. So yeah, I think that helped having older siblings, to look out, even in college, you know, that wasn't necessarily growing up broke, but it's just being broke. Everybody broke, you know? So, even then, if I'm in college, they actually had their jobs. At least my older brothers did. So then it was, you know, giving me money, helping that.
Jobs. You said
I'm talking about careers, sorry. I mean, talking about careers.
I was like,
when I was in college, I'm saying career stuff, not like the campus job. Because I had campus jobs too, you know. But Grace, absolutely. I'm not saying she didn't look out. She looked out now.
Many times.
Absolutely. Ace boom. But it wasn't all gloom and doom, obviously. Even we laughed, you know, throughout it. I remember the highlights of being broke, you know. I think you just appreciate more, and the little moments mean that much more. Like, I remember we'd always, I mean, my mom cooked, it's crazy. Like, now growing up, I'm like, how you have breakfast and lunch and dinner? And it's all home cooked, you know, like, golly.
Good. And it's almost like, and it's crazy, we grew up poor, but not in terms of food.
No,
because we didn't
food.
grow up eating frozen dinners. To this day, I can't do frozen dinner. I skip that out altogether.
Everything.
So I'm used to cooking my own meals. I'll do leftovers for days. I'm fine with that.
I don't.
But I even you did the lean cuisines. I couldn't do
in
that.
College,
I just cooked myself. Eating that out was like a highlight in the family.
That was so rare. I can't even tell you how many times that happened a year. Maybe 4 or something. It doesn't happen a lot. It did not happen a lot. We would literally go home from church, and if we turned into McDonald's, we'd be like,
and we'd get like, we wouldn't get kids meals.
No,
we'd get crazy.
I was like 8, and I had 2 Big Macs and large fries. Everybody.
Age 8.
My dad would come into McDonald's and be like, we need 10 Big Macs, and they're, you know,
and
if you say that,
fries.
they start feeling sorry for you. So every time I went in with them, 10 Big Macs, 4 large fries, this and that, a drink, you know, whatever. And he like do it up, and they're just like,
do it big.
are these all for your kids? Yeah. You know, so we come home with like 12 or 13 Big Macs because they, you know, I guess feel sorry for us. But either way.
And then you eat one. And then you save it for later.
You do not do that.
You save it for later. You already had 2. And then these 3 siblings were behind my back planning out how to eat
what this got to do with growing up poor?
You take a nap like
in her feelings.
And then you wake up just ready to eat your Big Mac, open the fridge, and you're like,
in her feelings.
Where'd the Big Mac go?
Where it went is the fittest. It went to the fittest.
How does that make any sense? So that means they get 2 1/3.
Yeah. Because it's a house. It's a family of hungry, growing kids. If you have a pot of rice, you ain't just cutting it into 4 and being like, this is yours, this is yours. Listen, we went to McDonald's. Y'all had the equal chance of eating. And once you take a nap, it resets. Time resets.
Rules were not explained.
It was never
prior.
Child, she had many a times to get it together. And she already knew. She started, y'all better not eat this. Child, go to sleep. Go to sleep and wake up.
The worst. The absolute worst.
So yes, that was just a tangent because she had to get that off her chest. Growing up poor wasn't all bad because I think that's kind of how we got our grit, you know. We worked hard in college. I went to college, had about 3 jobs, you know, at a time. Apply for scholarships, and being broke helped us pay for college because FAFSA did us well. Okay, if you are broke, apply to FAFSA.gov. Hopefully that's the website. But either way, I know, right? Grants and scholarships, it helps, and you don't have student loans. I did not have student loans getting out of college because of that and because of my siblings. So there you go.
There's multiple benefits.
There are multiple benefits of being broke.
Just enjoying time together. We chilled a lot together. We had fun together. That's why we still cool now. I think people are shocked at how close we are. Like, we still hang out, meet up, reminisce about the past. We played, like, our brothers are the ones who taught us how to play spades and other card games.
Yeah, everything.
Crazy Eights. Dominoes. I don't count the number. I'm not that good at that. But you know, you just learn to enjoy the little you have. Like, we played board games and
we did a lot. Yeah, it's like you just have an imagination when you're broke. Summers were pretty much hanging out. We hung out. We hung out a lot.
And then we went outside too. But if it was too hot, we just hung out with each other watching. We had a
rotation. We had a rotation. Like, yes, it was the box. Probably like, who's the box?
Know what the box is?
It's when you call it. What is it? It was
Music,
the box.
Television you control. Do y'all know what that is? I feel like we were in a vortex and no one knows what that is.
The box. I think people know the box.
A song would be linked to a number and it scrolls all day. And
so you see like 278 and you're like, hey, it must be the money.
Right. She still remembers the numbers for the songs.
Do you know what I'm saying?
In the world. So anyway, but yeah, we different videos, and I think that's why we know different movies and just old movies. We had no business.
We just chilled a lot. We had like a whole lineup. Even in the summer, we're like, it's good times and it's different strokes and it's, you know, All in the Family or whatever. We can watch all. I don't know. I was thinking of that Tia
227?
one. Yeah, 227 and that other one.
Tia one.
With that lady that
with the
like happening? Moesha was in it. I mean Brandy was in it. Remember?
What's happening?
No, what's happening is something else. But Shirley Anyway, who cares? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? What's her name? Althea? Something like that.
Isn't that what it was called?
I think so. I don't know.
That wasn't that.
Because she was like,
we didn't watch
Give me a break. Like Is that
Give
it?
Me
Give me a
break. How did you know?
Oh, yeah.
And the theme songs were everything. Back then, theme songs were just so really good. Better.
They were. You know, when you don't have money, obviously there's restraints, and you can't, get what you want. You don't have the clothes you want, the shoes you want, blah blah blah. But you know, at the end of the day, it helped mold us into who we are, and I think our parents did a great job of shielding us, I guess, from that reality, because it's like, you know, obviously we know we broke. I didn't know how broke we were, I guess, until we were older. We never went without food. They were just on top of it. They were on it, and we had that support. So we had that love, and I don't think we ever were lacking that much. We just were poor. That's it. Everything was cool. We just had no munties. So now, you know, when we're growing up, we're like, okay, we get it. You know, make sure you still have those same values.
She's not going to spoil her kids.
Never.
You just, because you don't want them to grow up not having everything and not learning.
You got to learn. You got to learn. You got to help others. You got to just know that money doesn't grow on trees, and it is
and
my money.
And not look down on other people. You better not talk about nobody's clothes.
No,
I don't understand. That's not even funny.
I don't like that at all.
Funny. So no.
Don't talk about people around me. Not their clothes.
Just the values. We learned lots of values, and we still have them today.
I think so. But either way, that was growing up poor. Let us know your experience. Unless you grew up rich, then lucky you. Anywho, that was another session of
they would have experiences too. You can
really
share, because they're gonna mention how it wasn't all great. Or
I'm
maybe
sorry
it was
that
great.
she could only clean your room 3 times a week, not 4.
You're thinking of rich. Regular upper middle class.
That's just growing up.
Which we would have took. Can I grow up?
I said rich. You know what? Oh my goodness. HOPEsaidit.com. Check it out. It was No Money, Still Problems. That was the title of the blog post. Hit me up on social media at HOPEsaidit, Facebook, Instagram, Twitters. And I'll come next week with another topic. Tuesday, it will drop on HOPEsaidit.com. Look out for it. And put your email address so you can be one of the first ones to know when it posts. I don't think this one even does that. So that is awesome.
Because I know when it's posting and I just go to the website.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, HOPEsaidit.
I'm still the number one fan.
HOPEsaidit.com. Bye.
My smile seems fake.
HOPEsaidit. HOPEsaidit. Yes, I said it.